Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick Wallace here, representing the Visionetics Institute this afternoon. I just want to stop by briefly to share with you an opportunity while providing a sense of enlightenment as to the power of your mind to create your reality. When people come to me and they talk to me about their desires, their dreams, their hopes of someday achieving some level of exceptional or extraordinary performance in life, in whatever area it is. Some people simply want a better marriage. Some people simply want to be entrepreneurs. Other people have unbelievable and phenomenally scaled ideas of what their reality should be. Some people want to be billionaires. Some people want to be actors, entertainers, some people, and there are all of these different desires, but yet you look at the one common denominator in all these people that are coming to me is that they haven't even come close to achieving these things that they desire, these things that they are setting up as goals of achievement, and they're coming. And the one thing that's certain when they get there is that they really truly want it. It's not just something they're talking about. It's something that's burning on the inside. It's something that's keeping them awake at night. It's something that won't let them rest. They try to push it to the side and accept that just life is just meant to be blah, blah, mediocre, average, or whatever. And it keeps coming back to them, but yet they can't budge from where they're at, and they're trying to figure it out. Well, the first thing I tell them is, you can never outwork your beliefs. You can never outwork your beliefs. Your mind is so powerful that you can't outwork it. So what I'm telling you is that there are these people that have these desires and they've set these goals and they're busting their butt trying to get there. They're doing everything they can. They're following all of the strategies. They're doing all of the techniques. They got all of that stuff. They've read every book. And they can get there because at the end of the day, you cannot outwork your beliefs. If your beliefs are limiting, if your beliefs are in contradiction to the goal that you have set, then you create an immediate internal conflict with your belief system and your goals that automatically determine that you're going to have problems even making any type of significant progression towards what it is you say you're trying to accomplish. So the thing that you've got to be able to do is understand how your beliefs are developed. Your beliefs are developed. You function through life through a belief system that is pretty much regulated by what are known as paradigms. And these paradigms can be viewed in the most simplest way as the lens through which you view life, how you look at the world around you, how you perceive that the world responds to you, how you feel you fit into that world, and the level of impact you have in that world. So if you have a paradigm that was created when you were a child that says that because you come from this particular background, you'll never have money, then until you deal with that paradigm of that limiting belief, you're never really truly going to be able to get to money, because once you get to a certain stage that sets the parameters of what you feel you are worthy of or that you can produce based on your background, you will literally start to create actions based on that belief that will sabotage any effort that you have of getting there. You'll tell yourself when opportunity comes in the face, to your face, and that it's staring there, that the person that's coming there is not your type of person, or you don't trust them, or they're shady, or it's going to come in some way, and it's unpredictable in the way that it comes. It just depends on the beliefs that you developed over the years, because they're all guiding you. What you have to do is create a paradigm shift. And so in order to create a paradigm shift, you got to understand how paradigms and limiting beliefs are created. Well, first of all, what's a limiting belief or a paradigm? A limiting belief is simply a belief that has a negative connotation that places a parameter around an area of performance in your life. Some people have limiting beliefs in almost every area of their life, and it comes from low concept or low self-esteem, which creates low self-confidence, low performance, low expectations. And God, the universe, or however you view life, will only meet you at the level of your expectations. The expectations you have for yourself set the parameters of your ability to perform. You will never outperform your expectations. You will never outperform your beliefs. You will never outperform your mind. Your mind sets the parameter. Your beliefs, what you believe is possible, will set your parameters. And no matter what strategies you get, no matter how many resources you get behind you, no matter what happens that sets the stage for you to do exceptional, if your mind has not set that stage in the area of paradigms and beliefs, you're not going to get there. So what you have to do is understand that beliefs are both mental in the sense of mind, it created by the mind in the immaterial sense, meaning that the mind, the subconscious, the conscious and the subconscious mind should be seen as immaterial. It's an idea. It's the part of your soul. It's the seat of your soul. It's not connected directly in a sense to any biological or physiological reality. Then there's the brain. The brain is the physiological element of the process. And the brain should be seen as this huge computer with the capacity to house the entire Library of Congress. And your mind should be viewed as the user. It's the same as if you were to sit down in front of a computer. Well, when you sit down in front of a computer, several different dynamics are in play. When you sit down in front of a computer, the first dynamic is in play is that you're going to control what the computer gives you by the questions you ask it in the form of data entry. Or in the sense of a search engine. The information you put into a search engine determines your search results. So you can only get results that you seek and ask for. You set the emphasis on the results you get, but the computer can only bring you back results that have been programmed into it. It depends upon the system that the computer is using, the data that has been programmed into the computer, where the data is stored. So you see your brain as being this neurological, physiological computer. So when you have an experience, what happens in that experience is at the moment you begin to engage in experience, you begin to assign an interpretation to that experience. One of the analogies I use is you are 3 years old and you have your first encounter with a dog, whatever age, real young. Have your first encounter with a dog or a puppy. To you, a puppy is a dog at 3 years. It's huge. But you have your first encounter, and your interpretation of that experience with that dog can either be, oh my God, this is the most fun I've had in my life. I want one, mommy, mommy, mommy. Or it could be, oh my God, I'm scared of this. This dog is going to hurt me. And with that interpretation, the idea that dogs are dangerous is formed, and it's formed in your mind, and it creates what's known as a neurological synaptic connection in which this memory is stored. So it's not simply a memory, it's a memory of an interpretation that has formed what we call a belief. That's all a belief is the memory of an interpretation that you gave an experience in the past, that every time anything similar or associated with that experience happens, that memory is called on, and that memory is used to interpret the new experience. So if you have these limited beliefs, these limited beliefs are synaptic connections that are wired to fire off every time you come in contact with a specific stimuli. In order to overcome that, to create what we call paradigm shifts, you've got to create, first and foremost, a new synaptic connection with a different message. So you've now got to go back to that original experience and redefine it. If you define the dog as being dangerous, you've got to go back now and you've got to find as many experiences with dogs that said, well, no, that dog didn't bite me. That dog didn't bite me. This dog was around me all day long and actually just licked and, cuddled up under me and everything else. So all dogs aren't dangerous. Dogs in general aren't dangerous unless you make them dangerous. That's your new belief. You create that. Now it's there, but it doesn't measure up to the energy that this one has. And this one's going to fall first because it's been used for so long and the belief is so strong. How do you change that? You have to go in and repeatedly remind yourself of this. You have to drill it in every morning, wake up and literally repeat it. Repeat it during the day. Repeat it before you go to bed at night. Write it down and read it. And consistently, what you're doing is you're strengthening that synaptic connection and you're forming it to respond and react and fire off when you come in contact with a dog. Now, on this side, the less you use this, the more you use the new one, the less you use the old one starts to deactivate itself. And once it becomes completely deactivated, it will disintegrate and it will become inaccessible. It won't fire off. And now you have this new memory. That's the creation in the most simplest form. And what you have to understand is when you have limited beliefs, your beliefs dictate the input that you put into the computer, your brain, to get the results you're looking for. Let me give you a prime example. You have a belief that based on your background coming from poverty, that you cannot ever be wealthy. Well, anytime you can sit up and say, man, you know what, I'm going to set this goal. Everybody's out there talking about going and getting this paper, being entrepreneurs and doing their own thing. I'm going to do it. And you set this goal up. But what's happened? The goal is in direct contradiction to your belief. Your belief is stronger than the goal. And what's going to happen is you'll never outwork that belief. That belief is setting your expectations. That belief is setting your habits, your rituals, your performance, the way you act, the way you behave, the way you respond to anything that has to do with money. So you are literally sitting there sabotaging your own growth by this belief. But here it goes. This is what the belief will do to you. Remember, your brain is like a search engine. When you tell it something you're interested in, it goes and finds it. So if you have a belief that it's the actual part of your brain that does that is actually a physiological part of your brain called the reticular activating system, which is a little stem that sits right above the brain stem that actually processes information and translates it down into the subconscious, or the part of the brain that we will say feeds the subconscious. And that's how you know something's important or not important. Because imagine all the things that happen around you in any given second. There's no way that your brain can process all of that and give it meaning. So your brain has learned what's important to you. And what it does is it filters out everything around you that you have convinced it or conditioned it to believe isn't relevant to what you're doing at any given moment. When you pull up to a red light, the most important and prioritized thing at that moment is that red light when it turns green. Everything else is secondary and it continuously moves down. You may be more concerned about who's driving the car next to you because you want to know what they're doing, but you're less concerned with what the little kid with them is doing in the back seat. And your brain is processing all of this stuff in the order that you need to know and be aware of it. Well, what happens is when you give meaning to something, your brain gives it high priority. And if you tell yourself, oh my God, I just love that shirt that dude got. I've never seen that before, but that's awesome. Every time you look up now, you're going to see that shirt. Why? You just told your brain that it's important. So now your brain is going to identify every opportunity there is to see that shirt. And it's amazing how that works, but that's how it's going to happen when you have a negative mindset. If you sit up and say, I can't, guess what your brain does? Your brain actually works to go out and find your brain goes out and works to find every possible piece of evidence that points to the fact that you can't. It just does. If you decide that you can't, your brain's going to go find every reason why you can't. That's how it's designed. And it will also at the same time filter out or ignore any evidence to the contrary. So if you run across some evidence that shows, man, people who came from this background and were written off end up doing this, you're going to dismiss it. Or that was just lucky, somebody helped them, blah, blah, blah. You'll find a way to dismiss it and you're going to keep going. Why? Because you are trained to keep a cognitive equilibrium or a cognitive balance or a cognitive harmony. And when you come into conflicting beliefs, you have to either accept the new belief or dismiss it, invalidate it, or you come up with what's known as cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dis-ease in your thought processes, and that creates a great deal of frustration and discomfort in how you exist on a day-to-day basis. So, with that being said, I created a program because I understood that not everybody will be able to work with me. Not everybody will be able to sit down. Either they might not be able to afford it, the times might not be right, or I might just simply be so busy that I don't have space on my calendar. I sit down and I created a program that is set up to literally walk you step by step into creating paradigm shifts in every area of your life. We start out, we have to identify what type of thinking is holding me back. Why is it that I know that over there can be done, but for some reason I can't do it? And then you've got to find out what limiting belief, where it came from, how did you get there? What was the experience that you interpreted a certain way and gave a certain definition to that gave you the belief that you couldn't do this? Now, what questions are you asking yourself in your mind every day that's giving your brain the keywords to go out and perform searches that are actually bringing you back negative definitions that reinforce the negative belief? Here's what happens. You're going through and you ask yourself, why is it I such a screw up? Why is it that I can never get anything done? Why is it that I always get stuck here? Well, guess what your brain is going to do? It's going to go find the answer to the question you ask it. It's not going out to find proof that there's something to the contrary. It's not going out to find the proof that what you're thinking is wrong. It's going out to find exactly what you ask it. Why do I always lose? Why do I always fail? I found out, like, I went through this point where probably about 6 months, I was literally frustrated. I couldn't figure it out. I went from this point to where it seems like everything in my life was just rolling over and turning over for me, and I couldn't miss, to a point to where everything that popped up was just slapping me in the face and knocking me down, and I couldn't figure out what had happened. Is I had went through a very traumatic experience. I had lost somebody that I really, really, truly loved, and I took a negative approach, and then anytime something would happen negative, I would associate that negative thing with having lost my father. And I would say, I can't win for losing. And then I started to create this momentum, this downward spiral, because I'm constantly asking, why can't I win? Well, now my brain is going out and showing me. Well, number one is, man, you were just lucky all these other times. You look, man, most people who come from your background don't do what you've done to this point. You pretty much, it's catching up with you. That's all it is. It's catching up with you. And then I had to step back, and my mentor was the one that caught it. He said, stop saying that. And I'm like, what? You can't win for losing. And I'm like, whoa. It had become so normal. I hadn't even realized the power that I had given it. And it was literally shutting me down. I mean, I went through the process, changed it up, switched it, got back into gear, got back into focus, started the grind process over. There we go. We're moving again. And it's a constant adjustment. There's so many things coming at you. But if you are sitting up and you're looking and you're saying, hey, look, I'm trying, I'm out there, I'm busting my butt. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't want it bad enough. What it is you're battling limited beliefs, and limited beliefs are setting the parameters of your expectations. And no matter how hard you work, you can never outwork your beliefs. You're going to have to shift your paradigms. You're going to have to shift your paradigms. You're going to have to shake yourself free of these negative experiences that you've given negative interpretations and definitions to that define how you approach life. You're going to have to change the image, the story that's playing in your life to one that is reflective of the fact that you believe if I step on the court, I'm bringing it, I'm coming, they better get ready because I'm delivering every time I go after it. It might not happen in the time frame that I believe it should, but if I stick with it, nothing can stop me. I'm built for this. You've got to have that mindset, but that mindset doesn't come simply because you wish it. It doesn't come simply because somebody comes and drops something on you that provides this enigmatic, or I take that back, provides this epiphany. The epiphany is the breakthrough. Most people say, what's a break? The breakthrough is that moment you realize that something you've always wanted is possible. That's the breakthrough. But now you got to start rebuilding and rethinking and reshaping yourself and actually looking for all of the reasons why you can. And then you start redefining moments in your past. That's one of the things that I'm real good at when I work with my clients. I come in and I'm not finna give you all this feel good, you ready, go out there and get it. You can go get it right now. No, there's something deep down inside of you that you're hiding, that you've learned how to mask when you're in front of people, but that when you're really ready to go get it, it's tugging on you. And that it's like that chain that has been taken off the dog, but the dog has been chained for so long that the dog will only go as far as the parameters around that circle of motion that the chain will allow. It's that same thing. So what I do is I start peeling back layer after layer after layer, sometimes going back years and years. And I get to this point where that limited belief was created. And that's where we start working, because until we get rid of that limited belief, I can give you all the strategies. I can sit up and give you all of the list of people who've done it before. I can do all of that. And your brain is literally deciphering and filtering out all of the stuff that does not agree with that limiting belief and pulling out the information that it wants to hold on to bring to you and say, that belief you got, bro, right on point. You can't do it. And so I created this program for the people who couldn't work with me. It has been priced well below value now since I created it a couple of months ago, right at $100 plus shipping and handling, because it actually comes out in digital form in a number of different ways so that you can use it in a number of different ways, from MP3 to digital display to PowerPoint presentation to a number of different things that will allow you to take it and interact with it and work with it and create that reality that you're looking to create. After tomorrow midnight, so 12:01 a.m. Sunday morning, it goes to full price. The full price is probably going to be somewhere around $4.99, which is still far short of what it's worth. When you look at being able to go from a point to where you can't get something you want to being able to create almost anything you want, what would you pay for that? What is the price you would pay from being able to step outside of being stagnant in your life? And I'm not just talking about money. That's success is about so much more than money. Success is about making progress in your passion. That's what success is about. Now, you need to create a way to get paid in that. And I deal with my clients on that. I show them how to monetize their gifts in a way that they deliver something so valuable that people don't have a problem paying them for it. That's not the issue. When you truly are touching somebody and you're pouring into someone's life, they will turn around and have no problem whatsoever with compensating you for the value and the blessings that you bestowed upon them. When you're authentic about doing it and you care about the people you engage, money will never be an issue when you truly embrace your passion and you truly elevate your life to next level. I call it next level living. But the first thing that you got to learn in order to achieve next level after next level after next level, because it's a lifelong journey, a lifelong continuum. But the thing you have to do is you have to learn that you're built for this. Something I tell myself all the time. Everything that I've gone through has prepared me for this moment. I don't care how dark it is right now. I'm built for this. I don't care how many people are whispering behind my back and hoping for my demise. I'm built for this. No matter how many people are attempting to whisper sweet nothings of negativity into my ear with the hopes of despairing me and talking me out of my dreams, I'm built for this. I don't care how hard it is, how high the mountain, or how wide the ocean, or how nasty this valley is going to be. I'm built for this moment. Everything I've gone through to this point has prepared me to stand up and engage this moment. You learn all of that. You got to be able to face life and say, I'm built for this. And if you can't say it, you got to go back and find out what's on the inside. What is there that has created the limited belief that has you thinking you can't, that you're not ready, that you're not built for it. Your design is indicative of greatness. And if you're not experiencing the passion and the fulfillment of living your life at the level of phenomenal, then you have to get yourself set up and to a point of understanding why. You weren't designed for mediocrity. You weren't designed to be average. You weren't designed just to exist. You weren't designed just to survive. You were designed to stand up, go out, and get it. To be a representation of the extraordinary creation that you are. So the link is there. If this is Facebook, the link is there in the post box. If this is YouTube, the link is there in the description box. Go get it. Right now, like I said, right at $100 is going to go up significantly after midnight tomorrow, and it's going to be worth it. You can still get it. It's definitely going to be worth it. The people who've had a chance to experience it so far have had nothing but good things to say about it. I'm excited about it. It allows me to extend my reach to people that I don't normally get to work with. It also comes with some bonuses, some books that I absolutely live and die on, some books that talk about the power of the mind, some books that introduce it to you in an extraordinary level, one of which is mine, but several, like James Allen as a Man, Think It, and a number of others, The Science of Getting Rich, Think and Grow Rich, and a couple of more are all a part of this at this particular moment. So I encourage you, get it. Get into the mindset of shifting those paradigms that are holding you back, and then go out and make something happen. Make something extraordinary happen in your life. The question is always going to be, anytime somebody comes to me, most people who come to me knowing what I've already done, and we don't really even talk about money. But the time that money does come up, my question is always, how much are you willing to invest in living a fulfilled life? How much are you willing to invest in being the best you can possibly be? You can never get anywhere beyond what you're willing to invest in yourself. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, you are pretty much stagnant anyway. So that's it for me. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. You guys have an awesome time. I will chat it up with you guys later. As I always say, I'm going to die on E, and I encourage you to do the exact same thing. I'm out. Peace.